She's just a girl and she's on fire, hotter than a fantasy, lonely like a highway.
Before we start our first conversation, let's have a look at our first poll question. So it's going to pop up, and we'd love for everyone to participate in answering this question and viewing the results together. An HBR article published in December 2020 highlights that women are trailblazers in times of crises. The following are elements that leaders are valuing right now through the pandemic. What have you seen expressed most by female leadership around you? The ability to pivot and learn new skills, the ability to emphasize importance of employee development, the ability to display honesty and integrity, or the ability to be sensitive and understanding of the stress, anxiety, and frustration that people are feeling. So we're going to give you all a few seconds to respond to this poll, and then we'll look at the results together. This is not a test question. We know that we all women display all of these different abilities, but we'd love to hear from you and see what we come up with as a whole. All right. See once those results are going to pop in. All right. It looks like 80% of us here agree that the most displayed attribute for women in leadership is their ability to be sensitive and understanding of the stress, anxiety, and frustration that people are feeling. It appears that women are most in tune with others from what I'm seeing here. 80% of you have stated that. All right, let's go ahead and get started with the program. With the overwhelming number of statistics highlighting the underrepresentation of women across all segments of leadership, we often fail to celebrate and recognize those that transcend beyond the statistics and break through the numbers, becoming trailblazers and trendsetters of equitable and inclusive landscapes that set the stage for women worldwide. According to a 2020 UN report, women held only 28% of managerial positions globally in 2019, almost the same proportion as in 1995. And only 18% of enterprises surveyed had a female chief executive officer in 2020. Among Fortune 500 corporations, only 7.4% or 37 chief executive officers were women. In political life, while women's representation in parliament has been more than doubled globally, it has still not crossed the barrier of 25% of parliamentary seats in 2020. These same low numbers hold true in the worlds of entertainment and entrepreneurship, both competitive places for women to thrive with equal access to opportunities, funding, pay, and leadership success. Yet, a few shining gems still manage to step beyond the boundaries and land their mark. Our first speaker, a fearless Footwork frontrunner, has succeeded at shattering through glass ceilings of celebrity fame as the first Black woman tap dancer and entertainment entrepreneur recognized globally. Maud Arnold, also known as Tap Leading's Ladies and a cover for Dance Spirit magazine's Tap issue. She is a member for the female tap band the Syncopated Ladies, widely known for the viral videos that have accumulated over 70 million views, with the most successful being their tribute to Prince and their cover of Beyoncé's Formation. Beyoncé shared this video on all of her social media platforms and then hired the Syncopated Ladies to perform at her Ivy Park activewear clothing line launch in London. Maud also performed live with the Syncopated Ladies on ABC's Good Morning America, The Ellen Show with Pharrell Williams, and sold out concerts in Los Angeles, Dubai, New York City, and Washington, D.C., receiving rave reviews in the New York Times and more. Maud has quickly become a sought-after teacher, judge, entrepreneur, and performer worldwide. Mentored and trained by Debbie Allen, Maud received the opportunity to teach at the Debbie Allen Dance Academy in Los Angeles. Beyond the United States, Maud has taught tap dancing and Afro-funk in Dubai, Brazil, Japan, Spain, Haiti, the UK, Mexico, Canada, Croatia, Ukraine, and Russia. Please help me welcome Maud Arnold. Hi, Maud.
Hi, good morning or afternoon.
Oh, God. Thank you so much for joining us. I got to right away. I'm hearing background for that. I want to Why tap dance? I want to know the story behind your passion for this work.
Well, tap dance is such an incredible art form. It's an African American art form. And what I love about tap dance is that there is no body type for tap dance. So, growing up, we did the typical ballet, jazz, tap classes, kind of, the thing that everybody does at like a strip mall dance school. But tap dance lends towards improvisation, towards expression, towards your own voice. And I never would ever have a ballet body without being unhealthy to myself. And I just didn't have that desire to try to fit into a box that was not meant for me and that was not created for me. And so I love tap dance because it allows us to have our own voice and to be as loud as we want to be and to express however we want to express.
I love that. I love that. And so the tap dancing that motivated you to launch Syncopated Ladies and put tap back on the mat. How did that happen? What's the story behind that?
So big shout out to my sister, Chloe Arnold. We used to have a tap jam at the Debbie Allen Dance Academy every Monday night. It was free for all. Gregory Hines would come. I mean, legendary people would come. And one day it was just women. It just happened to be girls and women. And my sister, she's 6 years older than me. She was like, we should start something. We should do something here because all of these young women are good at improvisation, which usually when you think about women in tap, you think about a chorus line dancer or a background dancer, never the soloist. And all of these young women, I mean, our youngest member when we started the group was 11, and she's still a member of the group. And but she's one of the best tap dancers in the world right now. And so we were like, let's start something. So it started small. We would perform at a tap festival once a year. And then in 2012, because Chloe and I, my sister and I, both went to Columbia University for film school. So we worked production on music videos. And one day we were working with Beyonce, and we were like, why can't we rock out like her? Traditionally in tap, it's always been a male's voice. It's always been a famous man, and the women weren't allowed to be women unless they were just the chorus line or the background. And we're like, we want to rock out like this. And we have the skills, the technical filming skills to do this. Let's make our own stuff. And that's how it started.
I love it. I love it. Why not, right? Let's break in, right? Not let the men take it all over. So our event is called Trailblazers and Trendsetters for a reason, right? Because we wanted to highlight pioneers like you, and we know that you're pulling up the next generation and guiding them and providing this role model. What inspired you to also start the Chloe and Maud Foundation? I know you just gave out a shout out to your sister, but what inspired you? We know that it has created a tremendous impact for young Black children in both dance and personal development. And I would love to hear from you a little bit more about it.
Chloe and I were always need-based scholarship students growing up. So without the generosity of dance teachers and dance studio owners, including Debbie Allen, we would not have had the training or access. So I had just graduated college, and we said at Christmas, we were like, we should start an event in DC, our hometown. And we started the DC Tap Festival in 2009, which is now the largest tap dance festival in the world. And we're about to do our 13th year in 3 weeks. And the first and most important thing about the programming was providing access to anybody in need. We don't say no to any young person, any adult that wants to dance, because we know the importance of dance and we really believe that art saves lives. And so our programming has expanded. We have an after school program here in South Central LA and in 2 favelas in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. But we fostered exchange programs for kids. We provide free dance clothes. Basically, if you want to dance, we got you, because dance is an opportunity for young people to express themselves, to be vulnerable, to be seen, and to feel loved. And we feel like if you have all of those things, you can do anything you want to do.
I love it. Love it. So, as the first Black woman to partner with a major tap show company, you could have gone, anywhere with your shoe, price, and design, right? You could have done anything you wanted to do. Why did you decide to go in the route that you did with affordability in mind? And how did that align with your long-term vision?
So good tap shoes, before ours, were really expensive, upward the price of $200 plus. And if you're a parent and you have to buy your kid new tap shoes, new dance shoes every year because they're growing so fast, it just becomes exclusionary if you don't have any money. And being that kid in dance class with like the shoes that are too small or the shoes that are old or ugly or hand me down, it doesn't feel good and it doesn't encourage you to show up as your best self. And so our tap shoe, we wanted to keep the price point under $100. They're $75. They're made with real leather. They're a great quality shoe. They come in all sizes from kids to adults. And long term for us, it's about access and it's about sustaining that and making people feel good. So our shoes are super cute. They're black and white and they have a charm on them with a heart. And the heart charm was just to remind us all that it's all about love. It's not about the competition. It's about the community and the love.
I love it. I love that you mentioned access. Access seems to be always the barrier for women and for young people and for those who are underrepresented. And it appears that you're trying to ensure that there is access continuously. And so having said that, and we're talking about young individuals, what would you say to young individuals aspiring to be professional entertainers? You've worked with some of the biggest names in showbiz, like Beyonce, and you even won the first dance crew battle. So you think you can dance? Tell us how we can literally step into your shoes.
I would say for any young person that wants to be a professional dancer, first training never stops. You know, even though I'm a professional now and I run my own company and I travel around the world dancing, my training doesn't stop. And I work out every day. I still take dance classes, and also fortify your mind. I went to college, and I have to say that the network that I built in New York at Columbia, the skills that I acquired, finishing a task, balancing your time management, how to create a budget. Because Chloe and I produce all of our events. There's not somebody, dangling us like puppets. We literally do everything from bottom to the top. And I would say fortify your mind, fortify your soul, and surround yourself with really kind people, because the dance world, like almost every other industry, is cutthroat. I've been to auditions where I've been told I was fat in front of a room in front of 100 people, and you have to be resilient and not take those no's to your heart and say, okay, well, you want to close this door on me? It's okay, because I'll build my own over here. And I think it's just about not being afraid to rebuild your own door and create the access for yourself and create the vision that you want to see for yourself.
I love that. That's great advice. Can we dig a little? I mean, we're talking about advice and feedback to everyone else who wants to break into this industry. Can we dig a little bit more about some of the obstacles and challenges that you faced as a woman, as a Black woman, and because you expanded internationally? Talk to us about those and how you overcame them.
Well, when we first started Syncopated Ladies in 2003, and we were just performing at these little tap festivals and nobody really knew or cared, it was all good. We had no problems. It was okay. But as soon as our first video went viral, somebody created a fake Facebook profile and started to disparage us and bully us and called us names and made up stories and got like all these tap dance community people to kind of hop on and say, these women are disparaging tap, they're bad role models, they're, I don't know if I can say this word on this kind of panel, they're hoes, like just all of these things that were untrue and just trying to disparage us as women and as Black women. And I'm like, no, check the receipts on all these women, college educated, doing community service, community leaders, kind people. And I know that attack was from men in our dance community. This was not strangers bullying us. These were men that felt the reins being shaken a little bit and were trying to disparage us the best way that they knew how was, oh, we can talk about their sexual life and we can say their clothes are too tight. And, you know, they kind of went the stupid, cheap route of like, we're going to try to disparage them. And then we have our students' parents like, oh, no, 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 no. I mean, when I say I never typed a word in any comment to anybody because the community that mattered had our back. And we still do face the bullying within our community, which is really sad, but it's a reflection of misogyny and patriarchy that once things are being shaken up and you challenge the status quo, those who are in power and afraid will try to drag you down. And when I say we ignore them so well because we just see the bigger picture and we're like, if you spend your time sharing my video or DMing people who share my video saying, I'm not going to be your friend anymore, and you're a grown person, I mean, come on. So I think that that's been our greatest obstacle. And also just trying to explain to people our vision. Because if you look at ballet, right? And shout out Misty Copeland, who I love, and she's wonderful and amazing. She was trying to break down a door of a house that already existed at an institution that's highly respected around the world that already existed. And she broke down that door, and that was super difficult. We're trying to build an entire institution in a house that has never been done before. Because, you know, you look at the history of tap dance, and its truest essence, it was a form of freedom and a protest. But through a white lens, we came into minstrelsy and blackface, and has become synonymous with cooning, or, you know, you even hear things like don't tap dance around the subject. And it's like, why? So we're dispelling all of those stereotypes and false stereotypes, and creating what we're trying to create. We're trying to become moguls in something that has never, ever been done in history before, particularly for women. So I would say that's the biggest challenge, but it's fun. And it's exciting because as soon as people are like, you tap dance, like, how do you pay your bills? What man pays your bills? I mean, the things that I've heard, and I'm like, Google me, boo. And then they're like, oh, okay. But they've never seen it before. So I would say that's the other biggest challenge.
That's fantastic. I love that. You're stepping really, again, also outside of that box, and you're making a case. And I think this is critical as we're wrapping up our conversation. I can't believe we're already wrapping it up, but I want to point out that we're joined today by so many individuals, companies, and decision makers who are choosing to be allies to women, right? To ensure that they're empowered and elevated. What words of advice and wisdom would you give individuals who have the power to elevate and empower women across the world?
I would say listen. I think that's the biggest thing is nobody listens and listen to understand and to activate and not to respond. And I think that is the greatest thing. And the first step is that, you know, they're here and they want to learn, but then listen and trust. So you can't say, what do you think? And then a woman lays out this fantastic plan and you're like, actually, we're going to go another route. You wasted their time, you disrespected them, and then also pay women for their time. No more free, you know, conversations and asking like, what would you do here? You know, women are not here to baby you or to mother you or to take care of you. It's like, we have to take care of women. And I also think, pay women well and listen and activate.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Ma. That was great advice. And I'm sure everyone on here feels the same way. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us today.